when we think about weaving, we usually think of it as a craft, right? A way to make beautiful fabrics. But what if I told you it's so much more? What if it's an entire philosophical system, a map of the universe, and a way to literally participate in the act of creation? Today, we're diving into how, for many indigenous cultures, weaving is nothing less than a profound model of the cosmos. Just think about this question for a second. What if the universe wasn't built, but woven? Seriously, instead of thinking about bricks and mortar, imagine a cosmos made of intersecting threads. Some of them are fixed and eternal, while others are dynamic, full of life and story. This one little shift in perspective, well, it's the key to unlocking a completely different way of seeing our reality. And look, this is not just some pretty poetic metaphor. Across the globe, from the Andes to the American Southwest, sacred weaving traditions have been encoding philosophy and spirituality right into their textiles for millennia. These pieces aren't just silent objects sitting in a museum, they are living languages, a true bridge between the world we can see and the invisible forces that shape it. So, to really get our heads around this worldview, we've got to start with the tool itself, the loom. Because in these traditions, the loom isn't just a piece of equipment. It's seen as a sacred microcosm. And that brings us to this incredible idea of a sacred microcosm. The belief is that the very frame of the loom represents the frame of the entire universe. Every single part has a symbolic meaning, which turns the simple act of weaving into a ritual of recreating the cosmos in miniature. And get this, the loom isn't just wood and string. It's considered animate. It's alive. A perfect example is the backstrap loom. One end is tied to something in nature, like a tree, and the other end is literally wrapped around the weaver's waist. So the weaver's own body, their own breath and movement, becomes a part of the loom, creating the tension in the threads. It's this beautiful, literal, physical dialogue, a conversation happening between a person and the planet. Okay, and this idea gets even deeper when you look at the absolute basics of any weaving, the warp and the weft. In this worldview, they aren't just threads. They are the two fundamental dual forces of life itself. All right, so you've got the warp threads. These are the ones stretched vertically on the loom. They're fixed, they don't move, they represent stability, order, the unchanging structure of the universe. Then you have the weft threads. These are the ones that travel horizontally, moving over and under the warp. The weft is all about dynamism, the flow of time. It's the journey of human experience weaving its way through the fixed laws of the cosmos. Creation is literally the dance between these two forces. Now, this powerful cosmology isn't just some abstract philosophy. It's actually grounded in these amazing stories of divine creators, who are often imagined as the original weavers of the entire universe. Let's look at two incredible examples. First up, in Maya cosmology, you have the goddess Ixchel. She is the patroness of both weaving and childbirth, which is no accident. The creation of cloth and the creation of life are seen as one and the same. And the stories say that it was Ixchel who first wove the very fabric of existence. I mean, just try to picture the sheer scale of that image, a cosmic loom strung between the heavens and the earth. And her shuttle isn't just carrying thread, it's tracing the patterns of the stars, creating constellations and bringing life into being with every single pass. The act of weaving is the act of creating the cosmos. It's not a metaphor for it, it is it. Okay, now let's journey north of it, to the Diné or Navajo people of the American Southwest. For them, the sacred art of weaving was a gift from an incredible divine being, Spider-Woman. It said she spun the very first threads from her own body and taught the first weavers how to create not just cloth, but balance in the world. And this gift was huge, because along with the know-how of weaving, Spider-Woman also gave them this central Diné concept of hojo. It's a really deep idea, but at its core, it's about living in balance, in harmony, in beauty, and feeling that profound interconnectedness with, well, everything. For the Diné, the rhythmic, focused act of weaving is a physical ceremony, a way to create hojo and restore that crucial balance to yourself and to the world around you. So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see this complete, fully integrated worldview emerge, one that totally transforms our understanding of art, of knowledge, and of reality itself. And because this worldview is so deep, the process itself is every bit as sacred as the final product. Weaving is a ceremony. Fibers and dyes are gathered with real reverence and with prayers. The loom is treated not as some inanimate tool, but as a living partner in the act of creation.
And as the weaver works, they're weaving their intentions, their songs, and their prayers directly into the fabric.
So what does this all mean? It means a finished textile is never, ever just an object. It's a library, holding generations of ancestral wisdom. It's a prayer you can actually touch and feel. And it is a powerful declaration of who a person is and where they come from, with every single color and pattern carrying its own specific meaning. You know, there's this quote from the Indigenous curator Jeline Rickard that just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. Especially in the face of colonization, when languages and rituals were being suppressed, weaving became this powerful, coded way to keep culture alive and resilient. It's a way of asserting identity, of literally seeing one's culture into continued existence, one thread at a time. And all of this kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. If a single piece of cloth can hold an entire cosmos with stories of creation, balance, and identity, it really invites us to look at our own lives. What are the fixed warp threads in your life, the constants, the structures? And what's the weft, the unique story that only you are weaving through them? What stories are woven into the fabric of your world?